Once upon a time, deep within the ancient forests of Morocco, where the wind whispered through olive trees and the moonlight painted silver shadows on the earth, there lived a hungry fox. This fox was known across the forest for two things: his endless hunger and his clever mind. For days, he had wandered through the woods without finding enough food. The rivers were quiet, the rabbits were hiding, and even the smallest insects seemed to disappear whenever he came near. His stomach growled loudly as he walked beneath the tall trees. "I must find food tonight," the fox muttered to himself, "or I will not survive another day." As the sun slowly disappeared behind the mountains, the fox caught a delicious smell drifting through the cool evening air. He lifted his nose. Birds. Not just birds, baby birds. Slowly and silently, the fox followed the scent deeper into the forest until he arrived at a giant old tree with thick roots and wide branches stretching toward the sky. High above him sat a nest. Inside the nest were 4 tiny baby birds chirping loudly with open mouths, waiting for their mother to return with food. The fox's eyes sparkled with hunger. Well, he whispered. "Tonight, fortune smiles upon me." But there was one problem. The nest was high above the ground. Very high. The fox circled the tree carefully, studying every branch and every crack in the bark. Then he smiled. "I am the cleverest animal in this forest," he said proudly. "Climbing this tree will be easy." The fox jumped against the trunk and tried to climb. Scratch! His claws slipped. He tried again. And again. But the tree was too tall and too strong. After many attempts, the fox fell backward into a pile of dry leaves. The baby birds looked down nervously, chirping louder than before. Suddenly, the sound of wings filled the air. The mother bird returned. She landed near the nest and immediately saw the fox below. Her heart raced with fear. "Stay back," she cried. "Leave my babies alone." The fox sat down calmly and pretended to smile kindly. "Oh dear bird," he said softly, "you misunderstand me. I only came to admire your beautiful family." The mother bird narrowed her eyes. No fox ever visits a nest with good intentions. The fox laughed gently. "You wound me. I have changed. I no longer hunt birds. In fact, I now protect them." The mother bird did not believe a single word. But the fox continued speaking in a smooth, gentle voice. "You know," he said, "the forest can be dangerous at night. Owls, snakes, wild cats, terrible creatures roam these woods. Perhaps your babies need someone strong to guard them." "And who would that be?" asked the bird carefully. The fox placed a paw on his chest proudly. "Me." The baby birds were too young to understand danger. They simply watched the fox with curiosity. The mother bird stayed silent for a moment. Then she had an idea. "If you truly wish to help us," she said, "prove your kindness first." The fox's ears lifted. "Anything," he replied quickly. "Tonight," said the bird, "a terrible storm is coming. The wind may destroy our nest. If you protect the tree until morning, perhaps I will trust you." The fox looked at the nest again. His stomach growled loudly. He thought to himself, "Fine. I can wait one night. Tomorrow those birds will be mine." So the fox agreed. As darkness covered the forest, the wind began to howl. Rain poured from the sky. The tree shook violently from side to side. The mother bird wrapped her wings around her babies while the fox stood below in the cold mud. Hour after hour passed. The fox was freezing, wet, and exhausted. Several times he thought about leaving. But every time he looked up at the nest, he imagined the meal waiting for him. Near midnight, the storm became even stronger. Crack! A large branch snapped above the nest. The mother bird screamed. Without thinking, the fox jumped forward and pushed against the tree trunk with all his strength to stop it from shaking too much. The rain hit his face. The wind roared around him. But the fox did not move. For the first time in many years, he was protecting someone instead of hunting them. And something strange began to happen inside his heart. When morning finally arrived, the storm faded away. Golden sunlight warmed the forest once again. The baby birds chirped happily. The mother bird looked down at the fox, surprised to find him still there. Tired, cold, hungry, but faithful to his promise. "You stayed," she said quietly. The fox looked away. "I only wanted my reward," he answered. But deep inside, he knew that was no longer true. The mother bird flew down beside him. "In this forest," she said, "many animals are strong. Many are clever. But very few can change their nature." The fox remained silent. Then the bird dropped something at his feet. Fresh berries, nuts, and pieces of fruit collected from nearby trees. The fox stared at the food in confusion. "This is for me?" The mother bird nodded. "You protected my family. You deserve kindness, not fear." The fox slowly ate the food. It was not the feast he had imagined. Yet somehow, it tasted better. Days passed. Then weeks. The fox continued visiting the tree, but he never again tried to harm the birds. Instead, he watched over them from below. And as the baby birds grew older, they no longer feared him. The forest animals were shocked. A fox protecting birds, they whispered. Impossible. But the old owl who lived nearby simply smiled. The wildest hearts, said the owl wisely, can sometimes be changed by a single act of goodness. And from that day forward, the story of the hungry fox and the birds became one of the oldest tales told by firelight across the Moroccan countryside. A story reminding young and old alike that hunger may control the body, but kindness can transform the soul.